And you talk about that. Can you explain?
Yes, that was really tough for me. I don't know if you ever see me. I would do talk shows, and I would talk about my son having autism, and I would just start sobbing because I would have this guilt because I had an abortion.
It's one thing to be born to a 7-time Grammy Award winner, and another to be diagnosed with autism at age 3, all while navigating the reality of divorced parents. Diezel Braxton Lewis, an internet personality and model, warred with autism at a very young age. Despite these challenges, Diezel has carved out a path of his own, overcoming obstacles and earning the admiration of many. Let's dive into his inspiring journey from living with autism to becoming a well-known personality. The diagnosis. Diezel's parents, Toni Braxton and her ex-husband Keri Lewis, wedded in 1998. The former couple welcomed their first child, Denham Cole Braxton Lewis, on the 2nd of December 2001. As the younger of Toni's 2 sons, Diezel grew up in a family immersed in music, creativity, and fame. However, his early developmental journey brought unique challenges that distinguished him, even under the watchful eyes of the public. Have you ever imagined what it is like to have an autistic child or to be born autistic? Here are details of what that reality looks like. When Diezel was 1 year old, Toni noticed his development seemed delayed. In an interview, she said she was worried when she started noticing symptoms like no eye contact, lack of emotional connection, and very little communication, among other symptoms, from her son, Diezel. He was 3 years old when he was diagnosed with autism. The diagnosis brought a mix of emotions for Toni. Many parents experience denial because they want to believe their child is perfect, she explained. But it's not about perfection. It's about understanding that these kids must be taught differently. I've embraced that. I've come to terms with it. He's an amazing child. Did Toni think her son was imperfect? Does being autistic make a child imperfect? According to the Oxford Dictionary of Psychology, autistic disorder is a pervasive development disorder characterized by gross and sustained impairment of social interaction and communication, restricted and stereotyped patterns of behavior, interests, and activities, and abnormalities manifested before age 3 in social development, language acquisition, or play. Symptoms may include emotional non-responsiveness, lack of reciprocity in social interaction, failure to develop peer relations, delay or failure of speech development, stereotyped and idiosyncratic language usage or nonverbal behavior, including gaze aversion, insistence on sameness, and ritualized mannerisms. Apart from the fact that Toni tried to embrace that her son was still amazing, regardless of the diagnosis, some skeletons buried in her past haunted her as suspected reasons for her son's diagnosis. But before we get to that, let's find out who Toni Braxton was before she became a mother. Toni Braxton. Toni Michelle Braxton, born on October 7, 1967, is a celebrated American singer, songwriter, actress, and television personality. Her illustrious career has earned her numerous accolades, including 7 Grammy Awards, 9 Billboard Music Awards, 7 American Music Awards, and countless other honors. She was inducted into the Georgia Music Hall of Fame in 2011. She also received the prestigious Legend Award at the Soul Train Music Awards. In July 1993, LaFace released Toni's self-titled debut album, primarily produced by Reed, Babyface, and Daryl Simmons. The album peaked at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 and entered the top 10 on the album charts in Australia, Canada, Germany, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. The first single, Another Sad Love Song, reached number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the R&B singles chart. The second single, Breathe Again, was a top 5 hit on both charts and reached number 2 in the UK. Additional singles, including You Mean the World to Me, 7 Whole Days, and I Belong to You How Many Ways, were released in 1994. In June 1996, Toni released her second album, Secrets. Determined to expand her sound, she collaborated with Babyface, R. Kelly, Tony Rich, and David Foster, and co-produced the album. The album's first single, You're Making Me High, became Toni's first number 1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. The follow-up, Unbreak My Heart, written by Diane Warren, became the biggest hit of Toni's career, spending 11 consecutive weeks at number 1 on the Hot 100 and achieving global top 5 success. Toni's achievements during this era included 2 Grammy Awards for Unbreak My Heart and You're Making Me High, as well as 2 American Music Awards for Favorite Female Soul/R&B Artist and Favorite Soul/R&B Album. Despite her success, Toni faced financial struggles and eventually filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. She also filed a lawsuit against Arista and LaFace Records, which was settled in 1999. Public reaction to her financial difficulties was harsh, notably during an interview on The Oprah Winfrey Show. In 1998, Toni made her Broadway debut as Belle in Disney's Beauty and the Beast, becoming the first Black woman to star in a leading Disney role on Broadway. Composer Alan Menken wrote a new song for her character, A Change in Me, which remained part of the show for years. Toni's performance marked a historic moment as she paved the way for greater diversity in Broadway productions. She left the show in February 1999 to focus on her music, eventually recording The Heat, her first album in 4 years. In 2001, Toni made her acting debut in Doug McHenry's comedy film Kingdom Come, starring alongside LL Cool J, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Whoopi Goldberg. The film achieved moderate box office success, grossing $23.4 million worldwide. That same year, Toni released the Christmas album Snowflakes, which featured original R&B songs co-written with Keri Lewis and Babyface, remixes, and classic melodies. While the album received mixed reviews for its contemporary production, it earned gold certification in the United States. As Toni prepared to release her 4th studio album in 2002, she discovered she was pregnant with her 2nd child. Unable to promote the album properly, she requested a delay in its release, but the label declined. More Than a Woman was released in November 2002, debuting at number 13 on the US Billboard 200. The album featured the single Hit the Freeway, which underperformed commercially and was less successful internationally. It eventually received gold certification in the United States, with worldwide sales exceeding 800,000 copies. In April 2003, Toni left Arista Records after 14 years and signed with Blackground Records, led by her then-manager Barry Hankerson. That summer, she took on the lead role in the Broadway production of Ada from June 30th to November 16th. In 2005, her new label released Please, the lead single from her 5th album, Libra. Although initially planned for a June release, the album faced delays and was ultimately released on September 27th. It debuted at number 4 on the US Billboard 200, selling 114,593 copies in its first week. Libra achieved gold certification in the late 2005 and sold 679,000 copies worldwide. In August 2006, Toni became the headlining act at the Flamingo Las Vegas with her show Toni Braxton, Revealed. Originally scheduled to run until March 2007, the show's success led to extensions through August 2008. However, the residency was eventually canceled as Toni shifted focus to her health. It was on August 2007 that rumors began circulating that Toni Braxton had been diagnosed with breast cancer. In an interview with Access Hollywood, she clarified that these rumors were false and that her health was in good condition. However, in 2008, she had a benign lump removed from her breast. Braxton was briefly hospitalized on April 8, 2008, near the conclusion of her 2-year residency at the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas. As a result, the remaining shows, which were originally scheduled to run until August 23, 2008, were canceled. Later that year, while competing on Season 7 of Dancing with the Stars, Braxton revealed that she had been diagnosed with microvascular angina, also known as small vessel disease. Well, it takes more than one to make a baby. Before we go any further, let's meet Keri Lewis, Diezel's father. Additionally, looking back at the critical time of Toni and Keri's divorce, questions of whether their separation may have contributed to Diezel's poor development arise. But first, who is Keri Lewis? Keri Lewis. Keri Lewis was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota, on February 24, 1971. Growing up in the culturally vibrant city of Minneapolis, Keri's childhood was heavily influenced by its dynamic music scene, known for its distinctive blend of funk, soul, and R&B. From a young age, he began playing instruments and experimenting with songwriting, showing an innate talent for creating melodies and crafting lyrics. His teenage years were spent performing with local bands, gaining valuable experience, and refining his skills as a musician. Over the years, he has collaborated with numerous renowned artists and contributed as a performer, songwriter, and producer. His career reflects a dedication to excellence and a deep love for music. Keri's family played an essential role in nurturing his talents. His parents encouraged his artistic pursuits, creating an environment where he could explore various musical genres. Their support gave him the confidence to pursue his dreams, laying the foundation for a successful career in the music industry. Keri Lewis's breakthrough came in the 1990s when he co-founded the R&B group Mint Condition. Known for their rich, soulful sound and exceptional musicianship, the group quickly gained widespread acclaim. As the band's keyboardist and a key songwriter, Keri was instrumental in their success, contributing to some of their most memorable hits. Mint Condition's debut album, Meant to Be Mint, released in 1991, showcased Keri's immense talent. The album included timeless tracks such as Breakin' My Heart, Pretty Brown Eyes, and What Kind of Man Would I Be?, both of which remain classics in R&B. The group's ability to blend R&B, funk, and soul resonated with audiences and made them one of the era's leading acts. Keri Lewis's personal life has often drawn public attention, particularly his marriage to acclaimed singer Toni Braxton. The couple, who share 2 children, became high-profile in entertainment. Although they eventually divorced, Keri remains deeply committed to his role as a father. He has often spoken about the importance of instilling strong values in his children and encouraging them to follow their passions, much like he did during his youth. Keri's relationship with Toni Braxton brought him into the limelight. He has consistently prioritized his family life, balancing his responsibilities as a father with his music career. His dedication to his children and his ability to stay grounded have endeared him to fans and peers. And now, could the separation of Diezel's parents in 2009 have contributed to his struggles? Hold that thought. Let's get into the details of the divorce, the possible effect on the boys, and the real reasons behind it. Toni Braxton and Keri Lewis's divorce. Toni Braxton and Keri Lewis were married for 12 years before finalizing their divorce in 2013. Reflecting on their separation, Toni revealed, "I hated being divorced. I hated having to surrender to the loss." Many may not know that the pair briefly rekindled their relationship after their divorce. "We were attempting to salvage the relationship again. We were hopeful," Toni shared. "We dated for about a year and a half." The instability of their parents' relationship may not have been the best for the boys, especially Diezel, who struggled with emotional connection. As a child prone to being self-absorbed and preoccupied with self, often to the exclusion of the outside world, a broken family may have done more damage than good. What were Denim, Diezel's brother's thoughts on their parents' divorce? During an interview with Amo Mama, their son Denim reflected on their split, saying, "They maintained a great friendship, which helped me and my brother feel comfortable. Well, certain things are best left within the family." But maybe Toni didn't get the idea of leaving things within the family when she spoke about the divorce on the Red Table Talk with Jada Smith. Toni disclosed that her lupus diagnosis in 2010 played a significant role in their separation. While the public believed financial issues were to blame, she admitted her insecurities were a major factor. "I felt shallow because we broke up over money issues. At the time I found out I had lupus. I couldn't make money because of my illness. That was my contribution to the marriage failing," she confessed. "Who wants to take care of someone who's always sick? He never said that, but I felt it. Money was just the decoration on the tree. The tree itself was my insecurity. I felt because I was sick, he left." The couple, who share 2 sons, Denim and Diezel, occasionally appeared together on the early seasons of Braxton Family Values. Toni spoke openly about paying alimony to Keri, and even joked about her frustrations regarding their prenuptial and postnuptial agreements. She humorously admitted, "I went through this phase of, ooh, men are the new B** cheese. That's how I felt. That's what I was so angry about." Keri responded to Toni's comments in a written statement, providing his perspective. "In light of my ex-wife Toni Braxton's comments on Red Table Talk regarding our divorce, and the topic of men receiving alimony from women, I feel the need to address and clarify the matter. The impression is that I pursued her finances or was not there for Toni during our marriage. Let me start by saying, I truly love Toni. Anyone who was around during our marriage can attest to that. When she became ill, I did everything in my power to take care of her, and we worked hard for a long time to mend our relationship. Unfortunately, in the end, we couldn't make it work. Regarding the alimony payments, it's important to clarify that Toni's attorneys suggested that she have a prenuptial agreement drafted before our wedding. They prepared it according to their recommendations. Out of love for Toni and my belief in the longevity of our marriage, I didn't feel it was necessary to hire my attorney or contest any terms of the prenup. I trusted that we wouldn't need it. Fast forward to 2012, after we had separated. I moved out, and at some point, Toni informed me that the payments outlined in the prenup would begin to be deposited into my account. I received alimony for approximately 3 years, from 2012 to 2014. Now, whether intentional or not, Toni's comments have left people with the impression that we had a legal battle that forced her to pay alimony, grouping her situation with public cases like Halle Berry and Britney Spears. I don't see our situation in the same light. I didn't even hire an attorney during our divorce, and for the record, I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. Additionally, while I often disagreed with the creative liberties taken in representing our relationship, Toni's book, Lifetime movie, Braxton Family Values, or Red Table Talk, it is unacceptable for her to refer to me in derogatory terms, such as calling me a bitch. That line should not be crossed, especially as we raise 2 sons. I am open to discussing the broader topic of women paying alimony to men and vice versa, as I have mixed feelings about it myself. However, it's important to recognize that every situation is unique. Following their divorce, Toni began dating rapper Birdman in May 2016. The couple announced their engagement in February 2018, only to call it off in January 2019. By April of the same year, Toni and Birdman confirmed they were still together. However, as of 2022, Toni has made several public appearances stating she is single and back on the dating scene, suggesting her relationship with Birdman has ended. Diezel's life after the diagnosis. At 9 years old, Diezel made his acting debut in the Lifetime movie Twist of Faith, featuring Toni in a starring role. Initially, he was set to play her son in the film, but Toni decided against it, saying, "I thought him trying to do the movie and tutoring would have been too much for him." On the Queen Latifah show, Toni mentioned that she charged rent to her 11-year-old and 12-year-old sons, Diezel and Denim, so that they could understand money's value. She believes this will help them learn how to budget and not be plunged into shock and overwhelmed when faced with the realities of adulthood and bills. In the interview, she said, "Just so they can understand the value of $1, and they can understand that when you get older and have to leave, you have to pay bills. It shocked me when I found out I had to pay bills. Like, what do you mean rent? So I thought I should instill that into my little boys." This is a terrific way to train her kids financially. In 2017, Diezel was featured as Derek in the Family Ties TV series and Chicken Girls, which ran till 2019. In 2018, he was featured in Never Heard, The Dimitri Vegas, Like Mike When I Grow Up music videos, directed by Adil El Arbi Bilal Fallen, and stars like Wiz Khalifa. By the time Diezel turned 15, he had ventured into modeling. He writes on his Instagram bio that I dress up and pretend to be other people for a living. In 2021, he graduated from Fusion Academy in Los Angeles. Fusion Academy is a private school offering a blend of in-person, virtual, and hybrid learning environments. He celebrated the milestone with his parents and older brother. His parents publicly shared his plans to attend Howard University. But then, Diezel's diagnosis revealed something shocking about his mother, Toni. Keep watching to find out. The skeletons and guilt. When the diagnosis came, it brought up skeletons and guilt she was trying to forget. Toni Braxton shares in her memoir, Unbreak My Heart, published by HarperCollins, that she had an abortion in her early 30s after learning she was pregnant with her then-boyfriend, Keri Lewis. At the time, she was taking the prescription acne medication Accutane, known to cause birth defects such as abnormalities in the brain, heart, and face. She writes, "I was suddenly faced with a choice I'd never thought I'd have to make. Amid my major misgivings about abortion, I eventually made the gut-wrenching decision. In my heart, I believed I had taken a life, an action that I thought God might one day punish me for. My initial rage was quickly followed by another strong emotion, guilt. In the interview, Toni said she had gotten used to her feelings. Autism advocacy and overcoming autism. In the years following her son's diagnosis, Toni quickly emerged as one of the most prominent advocates for autism awareness, utilizing her celebrity status. It takes knowing pain to fight some battles, and Toni knew the challenges her son faced and what it was like to be a parent to an autistic child. In 2007, Toni was chosen as the national spokesperson for Autism Speaks. She even participated in a PSA for WETV alongside a then 7-year-old Diezel. Over the years, Toni has often expressed gratitude to the Autism Speaks organization for its support. In 2012, the organization honored her with the title Autism Speaks Global Autism Ambassador during a United Nations event focused on the disorder. Toni Braxton's work with Autism Speaks coincided with Jenny McCarthy's rising involvement in the autism advocacy community. In a sit-down interview with Access Hollywood hosts Kit Hoover and Nina Parker, Toni Braxton shared surprising news about her son Diezel, who was 13 years old, stating that he is no longer autistic. "My youngest son, as everyone knows, my son Diezel, suffered from autism," she said. "He shows no signs of autism." This revelation surprised many who have followed Braxton's decade-long advocacy for autism awareness. Now, the 7-time Grammy Award winner describes herself as one of the lucky parents because her son is off the spectrum. Toni credited Suzanne Wright, co-founder of Autism Speaks, for her son's remarkable progress. Braxton explained that Wright, who passed away at 79, provided her with valuable advice and programs that helped Diezel thrive. "She's been an advocate in helping me so much. I miss her already. I mean, I can't believe she's gone," Braxton said of Wright. Toni now describes Diezel as a social butterfly and reflects on how the journey has transformed their family. "Our lives have changed," she said. Beyond modeling, Diezel also ventured into acting, showcasing his diverse talents. In an interview, Toni mentioned that Diezel looked up Denzel Washington and Anthony Anderson. Toni Braxton frequently shares her immense pride in her son's accomplishments, emphasizing how far he has come since his initial diagnosis. She describes him as an inspiration for their family and many others who view him as a symbol of perseverance and limitless potential. What do you think about Diezel's life journey and Toni Braxton's guilt and struggles? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video, you should like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more.